Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation. I'm excited to share insights on a very timely topic. Today, we'll explore how trust has become a crucial factor in workplace success, especially during times of unprecedented disruption. Our focus will be on leadership behaviors that can rebuild confidence and boost performance within organizations. The title of our session is Rebuilding Organizational Trust: Leadership Behaviors That Make or Break Workforce Confidence, published just recently on December 5th, 2025. Over the next few minutes, we'll look at evidence-based strategies that are essential for students, faculty, and industry stakeholders alike. Let's get started. Let's take a closer look at some of the underlying issues affecting trust within organizations. Research shows that a significant portion of leaders, about 58%, are perceived by workers as not taking accountability when failures happen. On the other hand, 65% of employees believe that leaders tend to hide information or don't provide sufficient justification for their decisions. These perceptions can seriously undermine confidence and morale across the workforce. Now, despite these challenges, building sustainable high performance remains crucial. It's about creating a cohesive workforce that can deliver a competitive advantage through collaboration and mutual trust. This cohesion not only drives performance, but also enhances organizational resilience, especially in volatile and unpredictable environments. So, what's really at stake here? Trust is no longer just a soft skill. It's a strategic asset that can be measured and directly impacts key outcomes like retention, engagement, and decision-making. And in today's global landscape, organizations in 2025 are facing historically low levels of employee trust, driven by rapid digital transformation and ongoing economic uncertainty. This is the trust crisis, and it's a strategic challenge that we must address head-on. Let's take a closer look at the factors that contribute to distrust within organizations. One major issue is the rare audits of trust levels or deficit identification. This means that organizations often don't regularly check how much their teams trust them or identify areas where trust might be slipping. Without these checks, problems can go unnoticed and unaddressed. Next, there's the measurement gap. We often lack the tools or processes to effectively measure trust and accountability. This gap makes it difficult to understand where we stand or to track progress over time. Another critical point is the failure to admit mistakes or demonstrate corrective action. When leaders or teams aren't transparent about errors and don't show how they're fixing them, trust erodes because people feel there's no accountability or honesty. This leads to what I call an accountability vacuum. When responsibility isn't clear or consistently enforced, trust diminishes because people don't believe commitments will be honored or issues will be resolved. Misalignment between stated values and actual behaviors is also a big problem. If what leaders say and what they do aren't aligned, it creates confusion and distrust among team members. Leadership inconsistency plays a role here too. When choices seem arbitrary and lack clear explanations, it becomes hard to understand the reasoning behind decisions, which fuels skepticism. Finally, opaque decision-making adds to this cycle. When decisions are made behind closed doors or without clear communication, it fosters suspicion and undermines confidence in leadership. All of these factors, how we measure trust, transparency, accountability, and consistency, are interconnected. They form what I call the anatomy of distrust, highlighting the importance of addressing these issues to build a healthier, more trustworthy organization. Skepticism can be a powerful barrier that blocks organizational initiatives from taking hold. When employees or teams doubt the purpose or the benefits of a change, it becomes much harder to move forward. This kind of resistance often stems from a lack of trust, which is essential for any successful change effort. Top performers, in particular, are always looking for environments where they feel they can trust leadership and their colleagues. When that trust is broken or absent, they tend to seek out workplaces where they feel more secure and valued. This can lead to talent flight, where high performers leave for greener pastures. And when talented people leave, or when engagement drops, productivity and creative problem-solving inevitably suffer. Without a trusting environment, teams struggle to collaborate effectively, and innovative ideas become scarce. This decline in collaboration impacts the entire organization, leading to weaker teamwork and less cross-functional synergy. Over time, all of this contributes to declining morale across the organization. Ultimately, the broken trust creates a ripple effect, impacting not just individual performance, but the overall health and success of the organization. Trust isn't just a soft skill, it's the foundation for sustainable growth and innovation. When we dismiss or fail to act on workforce feedback, it sends a clear signal that employees' voices don't matter. This disconnection can really harm trust and engagement within the team. Ignoring employee feedback is not just dismissive, it can lead to missed opportunities for improvement and innovation. Another common mistake is prioritizing immediate results over long-term integrity. Focusing only on short-term wins might boost quarterly numbers, but it can undermine the organization's credibility and sustainability over time. It's important to remember that ethics and integrity are the foundation for lasting success. Sometimes leaders attribute failures to external factors, like market conditions or external pressures, instead of acknowledging internal shortcomings. This deflects responsibility and prevents learning and growth. Owning mistakes is crucial for building trust and fostering a culture of accountability. Setting unrealistic expectations without a plan for follow-through is a quick way to erode credibility. When promises are made but not kept, trust diminishes rapidly. Overpromising and underdelivering can damage relationships and undermine confidence in leadership. All of these behaviors, ignoring feedback, prioritizing short-term gains, deflecting blame, and overpromising, are leadership pitfalls that destroy trust. Trust is the cornerstone of effective leadership and organizational success. Recognizing these patterns helps us understand how to lead with integrity and foster a healthier, more engaged workplace. On this slide, we see some compelling evidence from the Gartner 2025 survey that highlights the tangible impact of trust within organizations. What's particularly striking is that organizations which actively implement structured trust-building mechanisms can see measurable improvements in their performance in just 6 months. This isn't just about feeling good or fostering a positive culture. It's about real, quantifiable results. This slide underscores the idea that trust is a performance driver. When teams and leaders prioritize building trust intentionally, it directly influences performance metrics, efficiency, and overall success. It's a reminder that trust isn't a soft, optional element. It's a critical, measurable factor that can propel organizations forward. Throughout our presentation, we're emphasizing that trust is not just a nice-to-have, but a strategic lever. And this evidence from Gartner reinforces that by showing how quickly and effectively trust can translate into performance gains when approached deliberately. Now, let's focus on recognizing transparency and embedding trust in our performance metrics. It's essential that we not only measure our success accurately, but also communicate those results openly. Celebrating trust wins along the way reinforces the behaviors and practices that foster a trustworthy environment. When we highlight these wins, it encourages everyone to stay committed to transparency. Remember, trust isn't built overnight. It's a continuous effort. By consistently recognizing transparency and embedding it into how we evaluate and share our performance, we create a culture where trust becomes the foundation of everything we do. Now, as we move into months 5 and 6, the focus shifts towards refining our strategies based on the data we've collected so far. This is a crucial step because it allows us to identify what's working and what needs adjustment. During this phase, we also want to recognize our trust champions, those individuals or teams who are leading the way and setting a positive example for others. Celebrating these champions helps to reinforce the behaviors we want to see across the organization. At the same time, we'll review the engagement improvements we've observed. Are our initiatives making a real difference? Are employees more engaged and trusting? Measuring these outcomes helps us ensure we're on the right track. And of course, we need to be ready to measure and adjust, using the insights we've gained to fine-tune our approach and maximize impact. Looking ahead to months 3 and 4, the key activities include establishing a measurement framework. This gives us a structured way to track our progress and identify specific areas where trust may still be lacking. Conducting initial trust diagnostics helps pinpoint these gaps, so we know exactly where to focus our efforts. Finally, in months 1 and 2, we laid the groundwork with an implementation framework that takes us from insight to action. This initial phase was all about understanding the current state and setting a solid foundation for our trust-building journey. Together, these steps form a continuous cycle of improvement, learning, acting, measuring, and refining to build a stronger, more trusting organization. Now, let's consider which trust-building mechanisms would be most effective within your specific organizational context. It's important to recognize that not all strategies are one-size-fits-all. Instead, we need to think strategically about what will resonate most with your team and culture. Next, why is explaining decision rationales so impactful for building workforce trust? Well, when leaders openly share the reasoning behind their choices, it fosters transparency and helps employees understand that decisions are made thoughtfully and fairly. This openness encourages trust because it reduces uncertainty and perceptions of bias. Moving on, what metrics and mechanisms should organizations use to measure trust levels effectively? It's crucial to identify clear indicators, such as employee surveys, feedback channels, or engagement scores, that can give you real insights into how trusting your workforce feels. Regularly tracking these metrics allows you to adjust your approach proactively. Now, how can leaders demonstrate accountability without appearing to lose authority? The key is balance. Leaders should be transparent about their responsibilities and admit when mistakes happen, showing integrity and humility. This approach actually reinforces authority because it builds respect and confidence in their leadership. Finally, what are the biggest contributors to distrust in your current organizational environment? Identifying these factors, whether it's lack of communication, inconsistent policies, or perceived unfairness, helps you target specific issues that undermine trust. Addressing these root causes is essential for creating a more trustworthy culture. These questions are critical for guiding your trust-building efforts and aligning them with your overall leadership strategy. They encourage reflection and action that can transform your organizational climate into one of genuine trust and collaboration. Now, let's talk about the investment required for building trust within our organizations. It's about intentional, sustained effort, consistently working on trust as a core aspect of our leadership and culture. The payoff: an engaged, cohesive, and high-performing organization that can truly thrive. When organizations proactively address trust deficits, they create resilient workforces. These teams are better equipped to navigate any disruptions or challenges that come their way. As workplace uncertainty continues to grow, employees are increasingly demanding transparency, rationality, accountability, and consistency from their leaders. They want to know where they stand and that their leaders are reliable. This brings us to the path forward. Trust isn't just a soft skill, it's a vital strategic capability. It directly impacts organizational resilience and success. As we look beyond 2025, cultivating trust becomes not just important, but essential for staying competitive and resilient in a rapidly changing world. So, investing in trust is really investing in the future strength and agility of your organization.